With the collapse of crypto, hoarders of digital apes will look like fools, while those of us who have been hoarding physical apes, previously scorned, now look like geniuses. That's right. And guess what? Me and my apes are never bored. You think an actual ape could ever have the capacity to be bored or boring? Fear not, my friends. My apes are never bored, and they're never boring.
It's hard to believe that only a week ago, Luna was one of the top cryptocurrencies with billions of dollars flowing into it. And all it...
Friend of the show, Coffeezilla, has a great video. Dude, they're awesome. Him and Mudahar are both great at this stuff. Their investigations of the cryptocurrency has been, like, really, really good. I mean, they're doing the SEC's job that SEC does not even want to do. So let's watch.
Was one market downturn to turn this golden token into digital toilet paper. I mean, in 1 week... Luna has gone from $80 a token to less than $1. This chart is just hard to look at, I'm warning you. It reminds me of BitConnect. Not to mention, UST, their stablecoin, is still depegged. And at this point, I think it's safe to say it's over for Terraform Labs. There's simply no way to reestablish the trust that algorithmic stablecoins need. I mean, after all, who wants an unstable stablecoin? So today, we're going to try to explain what happened.
Me, bro, I'm built different, okay? I want to be over. I want the feeling of getting absolutely cumstered and dumpstered, okay? I don't feel that enough from my landlord. I don't feel that enough from my boss. I don't feel that enough in every other facet of my life. So I want to get one more time by some random nerd on the internet, okay? That's promising me a dream of becoming a multi-millionaire. The American dream is finally upon us, okay? Deep down inside, I know that there are no shortcuts. Deep down inside, I know that I'm not going to, I'm probably going to be one of the millions of other people that lose their entire life savings on this shit. It's just basically gambling reskinned, okay? We're doing loot box shit, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, oh my God, it doesn't matter. Boys, it's up to me. America is the land of freedom, and if I want to get ass, I'm going to get yes, okay?
And tell the story of why I think this collapse was predictable. By that I mean it was literally predicted. There was a $20 million bet about this. And I'm also going to be honest with you about what we don't know as well. Because before we move further, let me say loud and clear. As of right now, no one knows the true culprit for this crash. So far, I've counted 4 different and unique threads going.
Bro, they sold that shit at 15K in 2013. You think your friends are all millionaires? How insecure are you? Wait, me? Age it? You think your friends are all millionaires? How insecure are you? Dude, are you talking to me? I'm literally a Twitch streamer, dude. What the I'm a little confused by what he was trying to say. Like, no, I mean, am I out of touch? Yes, certainly. But, if there's one thing, you can't, like, simultaneously be like, Hasan is out of touch. All of his friends are millionaires. And then turn around and be like, you think all your friends are millionaires? Shut up. I think he's saying to donate to XQC. Yeah, I don't know.
Viral, all claiming to know how Luna collapsed, and the explanation is slightly different each time. But what is consistent is their proof is...
He's the burrito you can buy with crypto. The cold burrito. Okay, let's keep going.
Trust me, bro. In fact, my personal favorite of these explanations is the theory that Citadel, who's the GameStop supervillain, secretly gotten 100,000 Bitcoin loan.
Bro, come on. This is 4chan. That's where the Citadel meme came from. I mean, I don't know if they actually did this, okay? Like, oh God, it just seems, it seems too much of a, oh, the Citadel guys are still trying to us holders over type thing.
From Gemini, which is owned by the Winkle twins, and they destroyed Luna with it. Now, Gemini denied these claims, but who are you going to believe? A private company or an anonymous 4chan post? Kind of a toss-up, right? And I'm not even saying these are wrong. They just don't have any evidence. So that's where it stands with this forensic side of things. A lot of people claim to have solved it, but nobody seems to actually have done so. But while we don't know exactly what happened, I think it's important to say this crash also didn't surprise anyone. And I think that's worth talking about. There were a lot of people who have been calling for this for some time, and these were mostly for 2 reasons, which we've already discussed. UST was built on a Ponzi scheme, and algo stablecoins have sort of always failed, and we've covered those. But there's a third option.
You can't have stability without any sort of institutional backing. The entire concept of decentralized currency revolves around a lack of stability and instability because it's just pure volatility. It's pure speculation, okay? If there's no big dick government saying, this is my currency and I will manage it by printing money or or engaging in acts of, deflation every now and then, which in America doesn't really happen too much, but right now is kind of happening, which is part of the reason why the crypto bubble is like bursting a little bit. But like a government that taxes you, a government that says, no, we're going to go kill a bunch of brown people overseas because they have some natural resource that we want to extract. Like, without that, you can't, there's no stability. It's decentralized. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, ANCAPs just simply want to have their cake and eat it too. That's the problem. Okay? It's just the government crashing it. Yeah, exactly. I don't know how to get this across to anarcho-capitalists, okay? I don't know how to explain this concept to anarcho-capitalists that the government is the reason why there is some semblance of stability. Obviously, the American currency is not backed by the gold anymore, okay? There's no gold standard, certainly. But there's the standard of America's fat cock, okay? Going through your ass at 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's what is holding the currency together. That's what's stabilizing the currency. That's what's stabilizing everything, okay? It's imperialism, bloodshed. So that builds a lot of confidence in America, okay? That builds a lot of confidence in America and a lot of confidence in the value of the dollar and the stability of the dollar. That builds a lot of confidence in the American stock market. This stuff is the kind of the entire reason why governments work. Like, it's kind of the entire reason why governments exist, okay? So you can't just, like, in a fantasy world, throw that around, okay, and just assume that I'm not going to run the top of the hour ad break at 1:56. You can't assume that, because at the top of the hour, there is a 60-second ad break, okay? Now, obviously, if you're one of the crypto boys and you've lost your entire net worth, like, I'm not going to tell you GG's, GG no re, but here is one coin, the Hasan coin, the top of the hour ad break avoiding coin. It is called a subscription for $5 a month or for free with a Twitch Prime. As long as you have an Amazon Prime account connected to your Twitch account, you get one free Prime subscription a month that you can use. Okay, you will be able to avoid those ad breaks. Thank you, Bill Vog, for the 5 get the subs. Okay. Fivehead, I'm aware that crypto is a scam. Fivehead, still bought it. Fivehead, still lost money. Fivehead. Of course, unlike a NFT, there are certain things that you immediately get from subscribing to me, okay? There is actually something real about, there is something that you realistically get when you do subscribe, like linking privileges, having a cool badge, emote access, okay? Things like that. You get nothing when you dump all your money into crypto. Here's the 1 minute ad break now. All right. Okay, but can I slurp juices with that $5 sub? No, I thought so. Yeah. Chatters be like, Hasan doesn't know what he's talking about as they plunge into crippling debt. Yeah, Reese's Pieces, thank you for the 5 get the subs. It's meaningless because you ignore us? Yeah, how it is. Dude, what's really interesting to me about the crypto stuff is like how quickly it flared up and how quickly it crashed and burned. That's a really interesting story for another time. Because like there was a time when it took a while for certain things, like certain scams, to like come to fruition and reach like terminal velocity. Now this shit happens literally like that. It lights up over the course of like 5 months and then crashes and burns in like dramatic capacity. Trillions of dollars gone. Not really trillions of dollars, obviously, but like trillions of dollars in value technically. It's wild. Worked for a crypto exchange that experienced a hacked worth millions. Seeing how little they knew about business should be enough to not invest in crypto.
That I really think has been overlooked in all this, and that is Kwon's role. Remember that Kwon is the creator of Terraform Labs. And what most people don't know is that as Luna became more and more successful, Kwon slowly became more and more arrogant. He would dismiss all his critics and call them poor. And I believe this played a role, at least, in so many people rooting for Luna's downfall, if not actively playing a role in it. As I said, we don't know if Luna's demise...
Money is not gone, it just changed hands. Yeah, no, that money is not gone, but the amount of money is not trillions, it's probably like billions, right? Like real money, not like baby money, not monopoly money that we're talking about, because crypto is monopoly money ultimately. That money went to probably, once again, the richest people. Okay, the richest people that are, it's not really 1 trillion, it's 1 trillion in value. When 1 trillion in cryptocurrency value goes poof, that doesn't necessarily mean $1 trillion of actual American greenbacks entered the marketplace. That's just value. It's speculative value that was in the tune of 1 trillion, but ultimately it's a couple billion. Someone's saying 18 billion, probably that makes sense. And now, some rich dude is minting, okay?
Was like an attack or naturally occurring, but I want to give you some examples of this because I think we can learn from it about sort of what not to do if you suddenly happen to become ultra rich and powerful. So on November 25th, 2021, a guy named Freddie Reynolds proposed a theory of how you could crash Luna with a Soros-style Black Wednesday attack. By that, he's referring to when George Soros broke the British pound. And he goes into great detail about how you could do this if you
George
just had
Soros!
$1 billion on hand. He described a process where you could make $50 million and sort of rinse and repeat it until Luna falls apart. Now, in response to this possible attack vector, does Luna investigate? Does it implement strategies to defend itself? No. Instead, Kwon says this, probably the most thread I've read this decade. Silence is a perfectly acceptable option if stupid. And then basically he asks sort of to be attacked. He says, billionaires in my following, go ahead, see what happens.
Let me just say something, okay? If you're a neurodivergent owner of like some crypto shit, just know that there's always someone with more powerful mental worms than you do, okay? Don't start this like anime shit. There is someone out there who's literally training harder than you and has way worse brain disease, and they are going to literally do everything they can to you. You're opening this up. You're opening the door when you say shit like this. There's some dude who literally sits in a room like the Matrix with like 1 million monitors, literally just like on life support. And now that dude has made it his life mission to ruin you, okay? So to all those guys who want to me over, I'm so sorry. I love all of you. Please work in my favor and against my enemies, okay? I will protect you. I will defend you. I love you. Please. Please do not weaponize your neurodivergence in my direction, but instead in the direction of my enemies. I am with you all the way, okay? I will protect you. Okay, let's continue.
I mean, can you imagine the arrogance to taunt billionaires that are following you and going like, yeah, see what happens. Go ahead, attack me, see what happens. Now, look, I know the internet's kind of a wild place, but I usually think there are 2 rules to it that you have to abide by at all times. 1, don't ever taunt the internet. And 2, don't ever taunt billionaires. And you certainly don't want to do both at the same time. But this kind of arrogant response wasn't even...
Like, to be honest, I don't even think it's a billionaire that did this. I don't think billionaires give a about some like rando, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think a billionaire cares enough about like this unless they were, you know, looking to short it and make money off of it or something, you know what I mean? He's not a rando. No, but it doesn't matter. Like, no billionaires, like, you think billionaires care that much about like destroy? I mean, I guess maybe it's like fun. I mean, this is pretty significant, but you could just make money off of it. LMAO, please don't weaponize your neurodivergence against me. Work in my favor against my enemies. I'm with you all the way. I support you. Gore police. Yes, that's what I said.
An irregular occurrence. Rather than engaging with flaws in his protocol, Kwon would repeatedly call his critics poor. In fact, a few days before Luna collapsed, Kwon said that if you listen to crypto influencers about UST pegging for the 69th time, or you could remember that they're all poor now and go for a run instead. And he repeatedly did this. He also taunted this guy, Algod Trading, who said, if Luna breaks new all-time highs, I will short it.
Bro, you can't with Algod Trading, okay? What a story. This is like, we are living in the worst possible form of the universe. You know what I mean? This is the type of shit that makes me go, Kaczynski posting, okay? Like, unironically, when I see stuff like this, I'm just like, all right, we must return to monkey. Like, this is so stupid. Like, what? Algod Trading is just popping the off. What kind of timeline are we in this? Sometimes I want to be a serf toiling the land, dude, okay? Yes, my lord. Cut my hand off if I do not bring you enough grain crops, my lord. I'm sorry, my lord. You know, just die of, like, gangrene at the age of 15. Yeah. That's a wonderful life, I think. It's just so stupid, dude. Here, I'm looking for the meme right now. Yes. Where is it? Where is the destruction meme? Why can I never find that meme? It's like one of the best ones. It's like the nuclear power plant blowing up and shit. At least thy lord would give you a wife. Yeah, here, this.
Okay.
Holdling, Luna, crypto, ETH, Bitcoin. What are you saying, brother? We must destroy industrial society and return to monkey. Reject modernity, brother. Anyway, so yeah, that's what this shit makes me feel like. I swear to God, when I watch it.
With size. And Do Kwon responds, yeah, but your size is not size. This guy responds, statistically, you're dunking on 99% of your community, but all right, someday your Ponzi will collapse. You can't keep fueling anchor. And this is my favorite part of the story.
Oh, dude, he hit him with a smile. That's the worst. That is the death blow, dude. When someone hits you with a smile, you know motherfuckers are like, I'm powering up. I'm powering up. I'm powering up. I'm about to... This is the same in Twitch chats, too. You don't want a Twitch chatter being like, I know where you live, smile. You know what I mean? It's like, it's over. It's done after that. You know what I mean?
Story, because that same guy then responds 4 days later, offering a $1 million bet that Luna will be at a lower price in exactly 1 year. Now, what does Do Kwon do? He takes it. Of course, he takes the bait. He says, cool, I'm in. And I guess that got enough attention because someone noticed it and decided that they actually wanted to raise the stakes. GCR on Twitter decides to offer a $10 million bet. Do Kwon once again agrees, and they decide on the escrow being another crypto Twitter user, Kobe. And so right now at this address, which we will put on screen, there's currently a $10 million bet going on the blockchain. This is real money we're talking about. Literally just put up to see if Luna's going to fall or not, which obviously 2 months later it did. But even that wasn't enough for GCR, who at the time decides he wants to double the bet, saying the initial spirit of it was this like, yeah, your size is not size, whatever, like kind of a weird insult. Weird way to say you're poor, basically. And so he says, look, we're going to play for big money. I'll double it to $20 million, to which Do Kwon doesn't respond. And so instead, what this guy does is he decides he's going to short Luna with the remaining $10 million that he wanted to bet him with. Now, for those of you following along at home, this is what we call a Chad move. This guy would end up cashing out with $16 to $20 million profit. And it shows how much Do Kwon pissed everyone off, not just the quote poor people, but actually the richest part of crypto Twitter. Remember, he literally asked billionaires to attack his protocol. And to make it even worse, he also began attacking other competitors around this time, saying about stablecoins like DAI, by my hand, DAI will die. And it was sort of this unique combination of arrogance, antagonism, and disregard for criticism that contributed either directly or indirectly to Luna's collapse. People don't like a sore winner, and it's fair to say that Do Kwon had to learn that lesson the hard way. My point with sharing this isn't to suggest that the only reason Luna collapsed is because this guy is kind of a jerk. Because remember, they were basically running a Ponzi scheme. But being a jerk, along with sort of running and benefiting from a Ponzi scheme, definitely doesn't help. And the other bit of news we learned in all of this is that CoinDesk reported that Do Kwon was secretly behind a failed stablecoin in the past called Basis Cash. He turned out to be anonymously involved, going by the pseudonym Rick, and his partner was called Morty. According to CoinDesk, he modeled the project after an earlier project called Basis, which you may or may not remember as the failed project of founder.
That's everything you need to know, okay? I've turned myself into a deval. I've turned my cryptocurrency into $0. I'm Pickle Rick.
Nader Al-Naji, the creator of BitClout. So that's where we are with this story. A lot has come out, and while I hold very little sympathy for Do Kwon's failure, I do feel bad for all the traders who got swept up in it. For example, KSI claimed to have bought 100,000 Luna, claiming it could be the, quote, best or worst trade of my life. He later says he spent $2.8 million buying the dip, and that his Luna was now worth $1,000. Ouch. And that's not even to mention the regular investors who don't have millions to spare. I mean, I cannot stress this enough. Billions of dollars have been wiped out overnight. Like, Reddit communities are being makeshifted from supporters into support groups. Like, I don't want to show you guys too much of this because it is dark. Some investors lost houses. Others lost life savings. And that's truly sad. But we can't
You put the house on crypto? Bro, this is the nerd melter, dude. Like, if you're... Oh, Jesus Christ. Bro, look. One thing I need you guys to understand is, like, how do we not recognize, like, predatory lending happened within, like, you know, institutional investments, within, like, actual legitimate banks, okay? They don't even give a about, like, ruining your life when there's supposed to be some kind of regulatory mechanism that stops shit like that from happening. And it still happened. What makes you think that this entire thing that is, like, outside of that regulatory mechanism was not going to you? Why does everybody think they're smarter? Why? Why do you think you're smarter than everybody else? This is fundamentally the problem with, like, Americans and just, like, people in general under capitalism. Like, we have been educated into thinking that we are literally smarter than we actually are. You're not. You're not. Oh my God. Oh. Like, I know I'm a dumbass, okay? It makes me so happy every day that I know I'm a dumb bitch, okay? I'm sipping on that dumb bitch juice on a daily basis. Do you understand? On a daily basis. But because of that, because of my recognition of how stupid I am and my limitations, I don't do stuff like this. And then I end up coming across as smarter than you. Do you get it? And obviously when I say you, I'm talking about the motherfuckers who, like, literally thought they were gonna, you know, they were gonna shortcut their way out of this. There is a level of freedom that comes from recognizing your mental limitations, okay? Please exercise that.
forget about the painful lessons things like Luna can teach us. In this case, it's sort of three things. Don't taunt internet billionaires. Don't build Ponzi.
You are never getting a Coinbase sponsor? My friend, you think, like, I didn't have an option to do, like, the NFT shit? Let me tell you something, okay? I at least have, like, a big dick Hollywood agent. And guess what? Even way before, like, Matt Damon was on this crypto shit, you think my agents weren't trying to get me to do marketing for all this shit? No, and what did I say? This was like a year and a half ago. If you have clips, you can probably find it, like, way behind. Like, when the NFT shit first started popping off, I had conversations with my agents. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's exploitative. It's insane. It's disgusting. And I talked about it way long ago. Why are you dick swinging so much right now? It's not a dick swinging. I'm telling you how it is. Ozzy literally did an ad 2 days ago. Yeah, for a FX show on Hulu. A little bit different than, like, locking you into a rug pull and then milking you, okay? The reason why I referenced it, for the record, like, the reason why I referenced all of that is because, like, I want you to understand, like, of course I had an opportunity to make a shitload of money off of this. If I wanted to milk, I could have gone to the farm way before any of these motherfuckers, okay? But I didn't. I think it's gross.
Schemes, and beware algo stablecoins.
And Ken Klippenstein he actually brought up a really good point. It's additionally gross that these dudes, all right, like a lot of these Hollywood celebrities and shit, they made so much money. There was a K-shaped recovery, if you recall. If you were already in the upper echelon of society, you were already making so much money during the pandemic, okay? A lot of people were really financially fortunate in the pandemic. I myself became a much wealthier during the pandemic. It's not a lie. You saw it. You saw it happen. You were here, okay? My audience grew, and so did the number of subscribers, so did the number that was paying attention. I recognize that, right? So that's something that, you know, guides my principled attitude for the most part. These celebrities, they had all of that, okay? Because they already have, like, a lot of investments. They made a load of money, and then they turned around and were like, we're gonna you over. We're gonna milk you. We're gonna milk you dry. I got into an argument with this guy at my uni about crypto, and he basically says, stay poor, and I'm watching all these tickers fall is literally better than coming. See, that's the other thing. I think it's because they're, like, a lot of the crypto guys were just, like, sore winners, I guess. They thought that they were winners when they were winning. And basically, for that reason, like, it's a schadenfreude. Like, it's a really exciting moment to see all these, like, little pasty losers constantly yell about how well they were doing, okay? It just, like, feels good to see them lose, you know? That's the reason, because they were so annoying. How does Terra Luna secure funds to purchase more BTC for its reserve? Can someone please explain? Ponzi. We are literally at a new ATH. I'm shorting. Looks like you want to lose money. We will see who has the last laugh in the end. Let me know how that goes. I'm now a millionaire. What a life. I feel blessed. You're not a millionaire. Yes, I kept my short open from 110 to this morning. Sub $1. I was 10x leverage. You can do the math, or maybe you can't since you couldn't realize this was a Ponzi scheme. I think the wealth inequality gap increased dramatically over the last 2 years, and they were able to hide it. Bro, now they're all crying how everyone's making fun of them. Yeah, of course, because they were annoying. They were so annoying. Here's a video explaining why it crashed.
The crypto markets are...
We just watched it.
Basically it. Pump the stock, and I'll see you in the next one.
We literally just watched the newer version of that video. Is that a better version of this video? Or is there more details on this? I'm so happy to listen to you in the past year about crypto. Watch the original. More
crashing,
details.
and two of the world's largest cryptos, Luna and UST, face extinction from a multi-billion-dollar bank run. That's billion with a B. As of recording, I still don't know if these coins are going to recover. And the big question on everyone's mind is, how did this happen? I brought on an expert to explain it. But first, we have to talk about the basics of this stuff. Terra USD, also known as UST, is an algorithmic stablecoin, which is different from fiat-backed stablecoins like Tether, which at least pretend to be backed by real money. Algorithmic stablecoins, on the other hand, aren't backed by anything. The way they maintain their peg to the US dollar or euro is with market dynamics by incentivizing arbitrage. Usually, there's a pair of tokens, one of them paired to the currency, and the other can fluctuate. And I'm not going to get into exactly how this arbitrage thing works because it's quite complicated and others have covered it in a great amount of detail. The point is that usually these things work really well and make a lot of money for everyone right up until they don't and things go boom. Historically, every single algorithmic stablecoin has eventually lost their peg in what's known as a death spiral, where people lose their faith in the coin finally and rush for the exit. And because this stablecoin is not collateralized in any real way, most people end up losing their money in these exit situations. Famously, Mark Cuban got wrecked with a stablecoin called Iron and its Titan pair. Many people have compared this token pair to UST and Luna. However, there are differences which we're going to get into. But the point is, there's been a lot of failure in the algo stablecoin space, which you need to know about. People meme about all the different failures and say, look, you guys are trying alchemy. It's impossible. You can't create value from nothing. Despite this fact, it hasn't stopped people from trying. Every time a new...
It is, though. Faith-based currency is exactly what it is. That's literally what it is, dude. What are you doing? Oh, my God. The thing is, if it was collateralized, right, you can't base it off of... You can never compete with, like, someone with a bigger dick than you, regardless, okay? No matter what happens, you don't have unlimited assets, and ultimately you can never compete with fiat currency because fiat currency is backed by, and you guys already know this, the long dick of the government, and the government's dick is so long, dude. You will unimaginable lengths of from the government, okay? Isn't the USD faith-based currency? No, dude, no. What do we do? What do we talk about here? Why are you in a leftist community if you do not understand that, like, yes, of course, the American dollar is in many ways backed by the confidence because it's not tethered to, like, it's not gold standard anymore, right? But that confidence comes from America's fat, throbbing penis, okay? And all the war that it wages, like, all the time, nonstop. You get it?
Algorithmic stablecoin fails, two more crop up with new strategies about how they're going to finally defeat this death spiral. And the most popular...
Yeah, okay, let me... here's a good point. Yeah, you brought up nukes. Exactly. How many nukes does Terra Coin or Luna Coin own, okay? Do you own any nukes? No? Shut up, okay? How many aircraft carriers do you have? Oh, 0? Oh, I didn't realize that we were just having fun then. We were just, like, throwing money and lighting it on fire. Can you take over an entire government if you want to? How many coup d'etats have you done? Whether it be the Philippines or any other country. Oh, 0. Oh, interesting. Good luck. Good luck with your made up bullshit, okay? This is so lame. HasanAbi does not understand Bitcoin. Yes, and here I am with, you know, my assets intact, and here you are with $0. But you can't tell me I don't know what's going on when I've been saying this for like for 2-3 years now, okay? And you're like, oh, you were wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong. Look now, look at this now, look at this now, look at this now, look at this now. And then you turn around, and even in a moment where you're like getting long dicked, you're getting schlonged, okay, shellacked, shafted. All of your wealth is now 0 worth $0, and you turn around and you go, wow, okay, well, you know, I'm still in the right actually.
Popular and successful attempt at this has come from Terra Labs, a company which created Luna and UST. These two coins are extremely popular and in the top 10 of all cryptocurrencies. So the project is massive. And if these coins were to go bust, billions of dollars would vanish. One reason the people have invested so much into UST and Luna is because of a savings protocol called Anchor, which promises people a stable return of around 20%, which is obviously...
I felt the same as you, obviously, for as long as shit start popping again, but I'm kind of surprised the crash of this volume happened so quickly. Yes, I am too. I still think it's ridiculous. By the way, everything that's happening to Luna could technically happen to Bitcoin as well. You would just need more movement than what happened with Luna, obviously. So just remember that. Because the fundamentals are not there. The fundamentals require mass usage, okay? Like, there is nothing. It's just, okay, anyway. And it has happened to Bitcoin before, but BTC maxis won't let that happen. But again, you're relying on little babies, dude. You're relying on people with zero nuclear power, okay? How many nukes does the BTC maxis have? Maximalists. How many? Holy shit, what a terrible take. Okay, look. I see another, let me tell you something. I see another alternative here as well. Like, I have said this before. I've said this already, okay? That it's all fake. So is money. I mean, money is fake. It's made up. Understand that, right? Like, you get it. I mean, even anarchists understand this and then they take it to a very different level. Like, it's just bullshit. It's fake. It's made up. All of these concepts that we use to operate a functional society is just completely made up. We're all buying into it, right? And then there's something that fuels that fake bullshit. Like, there's a level of like belief that we all collectively join in on and decide, yeah, no, that's real. It's good for me. Okay. Like, I agree. That's how this works. Okay. And obviously there's like social conditioning that educates you into believing that this is the normal way to approach life. And these are like all, you know, truths that we have all tapped into. It's what you make it. With Bitcoin, you can, isn't that the same logic as fiat? No, I am describing fiat. I'm describing fiat currency right now. I'm literally describing that to you when I'm saying it's all fake. That's fake as well. Now, the difference is if enough people have decided that that fake thing is real, it's real now, okay? That's how it works. The problem with cryptocurrency is that there is nothing that is, at the very least, like instilling confidence because it's just purely a speculative asset, okay? An unverified, unsecured, an unverified, outside of the system security that you're trading on. You get it? And then the problem there is you need some kind of centralizing force that says, no, this is actually real. Okay? You need some kind of insurance. You need some kind of institutional backing. And if your entire purpose around like your decentralized finance operation is that it doesn't have that, it doesn't need that because you believe in like Ancapistan, then it's not going to work. It's not going to happen. Like the blockchain basically is, okay, the blockchain in and of itself is a fun idea. Okay. I get it. It's a fun idea. But thinking that the blockchain will reveal all truths and therefore, you know, market corrections will occur as a consequence of like, you know, information spreading because you can't hide anything in the blockchain is the same level of idiocy as David Rubin saying we can Yelp review contractors and therefore there's no ordinance or zoning regulations that are a necessity and that we shouldn't have any kind of regulation from the nanny state. That's how you arrive at this bullshit over and over again, okay? You need something to centralize and tell everyone, like, no, this is legitimate, okay? This is legit. There's no difference between believing the blockchain as a control mechanism and having that same ANCAP libertarian baby brain that lets you think that, like, you can Yelp review contractors that are killing people with, like, shoddy work. Government bad, crypto not part of government, mean crypto good? I mean, yeah. By the way, here's Yanis Varoufakis talking about the blockchain as well. Like, I understand. First of all, okay, Yanis Varoufakis on this. Let me just explain something too. I like the concept of the blockchain. I do. Unfortunately, I think it's like the energy efficiency is it's like a gigantic problem at this moment. Like, but I don't have ultimately a problem with more financial transparency. Do you see what I'm saying? Because like one of the best things about like what Coffeezilla does, for example, is that they can literally go in and once they get a wallet, it's over. It's game over. They can follow everything that you're doing, right? But that clearly hasn't stopped people from buying into this idiocy and getting rug pulled non-stop. You get it? All right, let's continue.
Insane, especially given how stable stablecoins are supposed to be. As a reminder, Bernie Madoff only promised a stable return of 10% a year, and the Anchor protocol is nearly doubling that, leading many people to accuse it of being a Ponzi scheme. However, Luna investors, who often call themselves lunatics, say everyone knows these rates are unsustainable and claim they're just being used as a growth tactic to get people into the ecosystem and that they will eventually be lowered over time. As of a day ago, there was $14 billion locked up into this 20% a year free money scheme. And this has been one of the major drivers of adoption. And this 20% return was seen as a great investment for many, right up until the crypto markets went into free fall over the weekend. And Luna and UST were hit some of the hardest of all. Luna fell 50% in one day, and UST actually depegged all the way down to 69 cents. Nice. As for the Anchor protocol, there was roughly $7 to $8 billion withdrawn from the protocol over the course of a couple days. Like I said, billion-dollar bank run. And as of the time of writing, I really do have no idea if UST is going to recover at all. And that's why I brought on my guest today, Bennett Tomlin. He's something of a stablecoin specialist, and you may recognize him from my Tether video. And I couldn't think of a better person to talk to really get to the bottom of this. Bennett, thanks for coming on the show. So this is absolutely insane. We have billions of dollars hanging in the balance here. And I guess my question is, what are the scenarios here? Which ways could this go?
Sure. So the first way this could go is that people continue to lose confidence in this system and try to exit their Terra into Luna, which when you do it below peg, mints more Luna and provides continued downward pressure on the price of Luna, which is the algorithmic stable coin death spiral that's often talked about. Is once the confidence is shaken, it can feed into itself, and as the protocol is trying to protect itself, it's also destroying itself by draining any of the remaining value out. The other option is that Kwon and Terraform Labs are able to, using their Bitcoin reserves by partnering with appropriate market makers and venture capitalists, that they're able to, at least for now, get this back to peg. Once they have it at peg, they're going to need to convince the community that this is still a thing worth having confidence in. What you might see, in order to try to get that confidence back, is Kwon and Terraform Labs, or perhaps just the Terra community broadly, may try to find a scapegoat, some kind of entity, firm, or person who they can come up with a plausible motivation for wanting to attack Terra.
I'm already finding that, by the way. They're coming out and saying that, centralized banks want to bring Terra down. They want to take down Luna. So you're already seeing that occur. But one of the interesting things I thought about the Luna Foundation Guard, or whatever it's called,
there's always a big
bought
villain.
Bitcoin to.
Yeah, they're blaming Citadel and BlackRock, which, by the way, I don't know. I don't think so, but maybe. But Chatter Struggles Twitter on point. You of all people should be championing cryptocurrency, which gives power back to the people. Dude, how are motherfuckers still saying this, dude? It's literally a scam, dude. They have already gotten your brain. They've already scammed you, okay? You've already been tapped in. It's not giving power back to the people. It's just milking the middle class, which have like a crumb on the side now. And it's giving that money back to, once again, the wealthy that already, are managing all of this. Finally got your hoodie, Dad. Thanks. Quality's top tier. I'm not a paid chatter. Glad we have received this on the legendary Hasan Positivity Week. Yep, yeah. That's funny. With the collapse of crypto, hoarders of digital apes will look like fools, while those of us who have been hoarding physical apes, previously scorned, now look like geniuses. That's right. And guess what? Me and my apes are never bored. You think an actual ape could ever have the capacity to be bored or boring? Fear not, my friends. My apes are never bored, and they're never boring. Look at this, by the way. Ooh, Tom Brady, President Bill Clinton. Let's go, dude. And Tony Blair. Dude, this is incredible. Too much money, okay? They got too much money, all right? Too much. Look at this. The worst kinds of people, too. Nightmare blunt rotation, absolutely the worst. Oh my God.
Supposedly protect the Luna peg. But since the markets are pretty correlated, when the markets go down like this and you have like an attack on the peg, aren't they selling Bitcoin at a loss to protect Luna and then making Bitcoin crash even harder? Like, am I getting that right? Why would you invest in an asset that would probably be...
By the way, for everybody engaging in like the dunking on the crypto bros and stuff and being like, lol, look at your situation now, like you're or whatever. Honestly, here's another side of this, okay? The global economy isn't doing so hot either currently. So a lot of people who didn't take the additional like crumbs that they had and put it in the cryptocurrency market are also going to see the you just did that. No, I know. I'm doing that. But also at the same time, I am coming at it with the recognition that like even if you didn't do anything stupid, then if you didn't flex nonstop about how you were going to the moon and how everyone's a broke boy and they simply don't understand, you're still probably going to get in a meaningful way. It is just the same as like inflation over the working poor, right? Like it's just, you know, things are not looking too great. They're not looking too hot. When MH, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. My 401k lost 15k this morning.
Be down when you need it the most.
Because I think to Kwon's goal with purchasing the Bitcoin,
The wider economic is not tied to crypto. Oh no, yeah, it's completely unrelated to cryptocurrency. But yes, you know, the American marketplace is not doing so hot. Global markets are not doing so hot either currently.
Bitcoin wasn't really to stabilize the peg or make the Terra system better. I think that the primary goal with purchasing this massive amount of Bitcoin was to make it harder for people who care about Bitcoin to criticize Luna or Terra, because he was on pace to become like one of the single largest holders of Bitcoin in the world. And once you're in that position, you have a lot of influence over Bitcoin, and you can get a lot of things you may want because no one wants you to suddenly market sell $10 billion worth of Bitcoin. That would be very bad for anyone who holds Bitcoin or anyone who holds assets heavily correlated with Bitcoin, which is the entire cryptocurrency market. They've now made it where criticizing Terra, criticizing Luna, and destabilizing their system risks destabilizing a larger portion of the crypto ecosystem as a whole, and as such, many, perhaps all, crypto
I'm laughing at the person sitting in business class of the plane or riding is plummeting to the ground. Yeah, pretty much.
holders now have an incentive to try to make sure that Luna and Terra survive.
I think also another part of this that we have to talk about is obviously their success with the Anchor protocol, or I call it success. They've been offering these crazy 20% rates of return. Can you explain? It's this weird game. It feels like Bernie Madoff, the whole like you get this really stable return. Actually, it's way over what Bernie Madoff was offering. Can you explain that? I know they're saying that, look, it's just a growth hack, but it feels awful Ponzi-like. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, I'm laughing because when Cass and I did our episode on Terra, there's the moment when we talk about this, and Cass asked me, why does this feel like a scam? I'm like, it feels like a scam because they're telling you they can guarantee a 20% interest rate. And when someone tells you that, they're basically always scamming you. That's not a real thing that generally happens. And so for a long time, Terraform Labs was providing funds. Well, they're still providing funds. Terraform Labs is providing funds to the Anchor protocol so that you can get a rate higher than the market can support for lending out your Terra. It did used to be this like guaranteed stable 20% or so, 19 whatever percent yield. They recently did make it so it starts to float a little bit, but it's still subsidized so that you get more for lending it than you pay to borrow it.
Crazy idea.
And
only in crypto, by the way. Only in crypto.
Yeah. Normally that goes the other way. The good faith explanation for what they were doing is that they hoped they could get this big enough that it would actually start being used for like
real things,
commerce or foreign exchange or payments or currency things currencies are used for. But instead, everyone just used it for the free money, and eventually free money ends.
Right. Well, it seems like every time a stable
So, chatters, when you hear a person that sounds a little bit more like you explain exactly what I've been explaining, does that, a lot of the crypto nerds in the chat, does that give you a little bit more, confidence in what I'm saying, or no? Because he basically just literally described what I was saying earlier when you were like, you're an idiot, you don't know anything. You're like, no, actually, no, that guy too. I'm holding.
an algo stablecoin fails, it just seems like somebody has a new idea for, oh, I know what they did wrong. I'll fix it this time. This is going to be the one true.
See, I wish they had new ideas. That would be
you don't think they do?
This Terra is not very meaningfully different from like the economic concepts.
Dude, if you say that about Luna, yes, but ETH and BTC, no, then you're failing to comprehend something that is like at the root of the problem, which is that there is technically, when you look at the fundamentals, no difference between Luna and ETH and BTC. Okay? The only, there's no difference between them. The only difference between them is I guess, confidence. Like, that they're not going to fail because enough people have bought into it. There's a huge difference. Okay. Educate yourself on BTC. Look. Just because something is not likely to happen does not mean that it is impossible for it to happen. Okay? I'm not saying that like BTC and ETH are destined for failure in a similar capacity. Okay? I'm simply stating that the fundamentals that make, Luna into worthless nothingness are the same lack of fundamentals that exist within BTC, Bitcoin, and Ethereum. Okay? That's the problem. And you're failing to recognize this for some reason. Every time the subject is brought up, it's literally always the same. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why people... That's just not true, lol. Okay. All right. You can say that same thing about the whole stock market, though. Yes, I can. And I do all the time. Except there is something... I can't believe I'm defending the stock market. But there is something that you can look to and point to and say, these are the fundamentals when it comes to certain stocks. But more importantly than the stock market, there is the American government, dude. There are financial institutions internationally, and it still fails. It still fails, but there's still like a physical company. There are people working there. There is some kind of value being added. It's fake bullshit that we all made up, but at least like everyone has tapped into that, okay? Your assumption is everyone is going to tap into Bitcoin in a similar capacity, but there's nothing going on behind it. There's no backing. But the reason why a lot of this, I guess, simply works, and it's a little bit different than cryptocurrency, is because there is a regulatory mechanism. That regulatory mechanism doesn't work usually, okay? And it fails a lot, and it's super corrupt. But ultimately, there's some stability afforded to it by the American government and by our institutions and by some semblance of regulatory forces.
Behind Dan Larimer's New Bits from like 2015 New Bits, BitShares from like 2015, or it's not super meaningfully different from the Titan and Iron Finance one, which...
Pumping and dumping stocks is illegal at least? I mean, there's literally like the most basic financial protections that are supposed to make the process of, trading a safer one so that everyone can tap in and instill some level of confidence within trading does not exist in a decentralized financial system. Okay? So if your goal is simply to look at, the blockchain will reveal all truths or whatever, if you have that kind of like childlike understanding of the circumstance, then yeah, Coffeezilla would be, and I do love Coffeezilla, and Mudahar as well, but they would be literally destroying people right now, okay? But you're still not listening. We watch Coffeezilla videos all the time, and yet, shitcoins, altcoins, NFTs, rug pulls are still occurring nonstop. The worst part is, or I guess the best part is for like, Bitcoin maximalists, the evangelists, leading the charge, is that actual institutions are looking into diversifying their portfolios and buying into crypto already. So, so there's that. I find that to be a terrifying prospect because, like, for the reasons that I already mentioned, like, which is that the normal financial system is already like built upon shaky foundations, and you have companies like Tesla that are incredibly overvalued. You know what I mean? And look at look at the tech bubble, basically a repeat of the .com bubble. Like, you have so much of this happening already without cryptocurrency, and it is terrifying that like these big institutions are also now buying into crypto as well, which will only increase the volatility rather than actually bring about some kind of centralized force and some regulatory mechanisms that will make it safer to trade with cryptocurrency.
Famously broke and lost Mark Cuban a bunch
This
of
one
money.
just feels very well funded.
Yes.
And it feels like
This one's big. I think what makes Terra so interesting is none of the other algorithmic stablecoins have grown
Stockbroker here, I mean, a majority of the whole market's value is decided by 10 massive tech companies. I mean, yes.
to $18 billion. Though Kwon and Terraform Labs were way more effective at marketing
10,
and growth than any of the previous algorithmic stablecoin teams. And because of that, it got to a
Stockbroker in the chat. Dude, I have hella stockbrokers. What are you talking about?
in size where it ended up posing this relatively unique
I have
risk
analysts.
to the cryptocurrency ecosystem that no algorithmic stablecoin has really been able to do before, because they were always so much more isolated. It was a lot easier to call many of the older ones Ponzi's or really emphasize the game or the scheme part, because they were a lot less likely to interact with other protocols and to become this more broadly accepted part of the ecosystem. But there's places that had UST as a base pair and stuff for exchanges, right? Like this had started to reach out into a broader part of the ecosystem. Now we're talking about a stablecoin that was able to sponsor a US sports team, right? And so like it's entirely different and it's way more deeply connected. And so seeing it play out in this way has been a bit of a contrast to past algorithmic stablecoin blowouts, and might perhaps give us some idea of what might happen if, say, a stablecoin about 4.5 times the size of Terra were to suddenly become much less valuable.
Frightening, and I hope that doesn't happen anytime.
It's so weird that like the Roaring 20s and the Great Depression is like straight up upon us with wealth disparity at a higher level than it was back then. And in the very same reasons as to why these things happened, rampant monopolization, lack of regulation in any meaningful capacity over the financial markets, like literally all of the same shit is happening again. It is so stupid. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Like it's just like something that I don't know what it is. Where I look at this and I'm like, this is a cliche. Okay, not saying that this cryptocurrency is like cryptocurrency is the same as like the Great Depression. Obviously, like that's irrelevant. It's like it's like the Great Depression is slated to happen, and people are like buying Beanie Babies or something before it, leading up to it, like one last big push from the middle class. The crypto markets are completely irrelevant to the grand scheme of things. I'm just saying that like wealth disparity is already at the same level, and I don't know how we have gotten to like such a cliche repeat of history, and perfectly in like at the 100-year mark, people refuse to recognize it.
Time soon. Thank you so much, Bennett, for coming on and explaining all this stuff to us. Guys, Bennett and his co-host Cass have a podcast that I want you guys all to go listen to. You want to shout it out real quick?
Yeah, sure. Cass Pianti and I are the co-hosts of Crypto Critics Corner. You can find it on YouTube or anywhere else you listen to podcasts.
Great podcast. I listen to it myself.
These guys are haters, bro. They don't get it. Okay. Dude, I really, dude, the worst is like, there's some good people that are involved in this shit that I like. You know what I mean? I'm thinking about Fwiz. You know what I mean? Homie who was like head of YouTube gaming at such a young age, such an early age, who literally left YouTube gaming, then become the CEO of Polygon, an entire company that like revolves around NFTs. Now look at what's going on with NFT markets and also with cryptocurrency in general. Like that shit, young question mark? Yeah, Fwiz is super young to be like so high level. He was super young to be so high level at YouTube. He had a lot of great ideas too. And fraud is real, libtard. Oh, give it to me. PA Republican staffers have been fired after the PHI Inquirer story revealed that the ballots were being diverted into a possible ballot harvesting operation to a PO box without voters' knowledge and being filled out by party officials. Oh my God, the GOP was doing it. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Who would have thought? This is good. You don't sleep. You're pale. You only eat junk food. Don't like the sunlight. I know what you are. Say it out loud. Say it. Or react to Andy. Hey, if you like this video, please subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.